Hello, I'm APX. Hello, I'm APX Toycat, and welcome back to Q&A Saturday. This Q&A is coming to you straight from Istanbul, Turkey, where I'm spending the next 2 weeks. It's a place with so many street cats, and I've just been enjoying seeing them so much, and I figured why not do a little bit of a revolution in Q&A Saturday and make it Q&A Catday. So every single question is going to come with a picture of a cat that I found on the street, and you know, we're going to be rating and talking about that cat alongside those questions that I guess people have asked that they want me to answer, which is the whole basis of this video, Q&A Catday, which I hope you all enjoy. But let's dive straight into the first question, shall we? Which I guess is something we have to answer. Although, look at this cat in the background. Isn't this an adorable cat? But the first question is from Robert the Pro, who says, why have you not applied for the YouTube rank on featured servers? It's an easy clickbait video. And I actually totally agree. Like, yeah, I could be like, I became a YouTuber and abused my rank on a video is something I feel like I've seen my recommended at some point and could easily do myself. But obviously, the reason I don't apply for YouTube rank on servers that I actually intend to play on is because I like to be playing it in the actual perspective of someone who's on that server. Unless the YouTube rank is only there to stop people from following you, which I think is handy, I think I like to see a server and what it's really like, rather than getting a bunch of stuff for free because I am a YouTuber, air quotes, because I feel like the problem with getting a huge amount of stuff from any server, same with from any game, a lot of people fall into this trap, is you don't realize how much it really costs. A lot of Minecraft YouTubers got, like an unlimited amount of Minecoins, or at least a large number from Microsoft, and as a result, they don't really appreciate the these are like $5-6 maps you're dropping stuff on, which can be fun by themselves, but it doesn't make them, really worth the money for other people. But when something costs zero to you, you can very easily argue it's worth the money, and that is something as a YouTuber I want to be cautious of. I want to help people, especially when they're making decisions about money, make the best decisions with those. And if I get something for free, usually because of the YouTuber rank, it can kind of dirty that, and that's why at the very least I try to disclose it and mention it. And in the case of featured servers, it's like, why would I? Why would I not just not play it how normal people do? So I can criticize the loot boxes on, I think it's Mineplex, right? There are literal loot boxes on a Minecraft server. It's ridiculous. And again, when you get a bunch of those loot boxes free, it feels less mean than when they're directly trying to sell them to you. At least that's my opinion. But let's move into the second question, which comes along with this cat right here, where as you can see, he's sitting on a bunch of comic books and books from a normal store right here. It's amazing how much they love cats here in Istanbul. Like, it isn't just a coincidence there's a bunch of cats. People look after them and they let them inside of their stores. They'll let them even sit on top of their valuable merchandise, and I just found that to be adorable. But the question that comes alongside it is, what is your current PC setup? And I'm sure they're asking about, because they're an NVIDIA fan, what do I use on my main PC? I've got a 2080 Ti in there. It's pretty cool, which by the way comes with that same thing that I always want to be clear about. Like, yeah, that was something provided me for the purposes of making a video. I don't think a 2080 Ti is very recommendable, but to leave that to the side, what I'm using right now, my current PC setup to record this exact video, is I have a Surface Book 2. It is like a Microsoft, you could call it like a MacBook ripoff if you really want to, but it's a powerful machine that is like meant to be good enough for doing pretty much anything I want to do, including editing this very video right here. The only problem is it struggles a little bit with running Minecraft and playing it like effectively for recording at the same time. So that's something that I run into issues with. But yeah, I've got myself a Surface Book 2, you can look into it, and I've got myself a Yeti X microphone I travel with. I'm recording from the inside of a cupboard right now. That sounds like hyperbole, but I'm literally trying to do that to get the best audio, and you can still probably hear a little bit more echo than I would like. And so yeah, now you know, I've got myself a Yeti microphone inside a cupboard with my laptop, and that is what I spend my Saturdays doing. What about you, friends? Anyway, let's move into the third question, shall we, which is unrelated to my PC setup, because Mega vs. Prime asks, ever since you became a Minecraft Marketplace partner, has it changed your perspective on the marketplace entirely? And the answer to this one is kind of yeah. Like, obviously, I've been talking about the marketplace since before it even came out. I think adding microtransactions to Minecraft was a worrying precedent that, again, it seems to have been spurring this trend, or at least, part of the trend we've seen of games being like, what if we charge people to play the game, but also we charge them to play the game after they've bought it? That'd be a great way to make two sources of revenue, which is now just the standard, right? How many games can you find without microtransactions? Which is, again, I think Minecraft's is better than the rest, but it also encourages that trend. I've been talking about it ever since then. I've been mentioning it, I've been going through and reviewing Store Saturday maps, the ones that are best and the worst. But the thing that I've really learned since being a marketplace partner and working on this map, which, by the way, it's been something like 5 months now of just like going back and forth in the actual process itself internally, is I've realized just how much of making a map is not making a map. This is this is a mistake a lot of people make with any industry you're not familiar with. Like, what is the biggest part of being a, McDonald's? It's like making the burgers. No, biggest part is like marketing, getting enough people in there so you can make money on 99p burgers or whatever. What is the biggest part of running an airline? Well, you've got to be really good at flying planes. No, everyone's pretty much the same at flying planes. It's about the business and the economics of getting those flights and working out how to price them so that people, pay the maximum that they can. There's like all these like side, deals to industries. Same with YouTube, I would say. People think like, oh, you just play Minecraft and put it on the internet. It's like, no, there's so much more. You got to be in your cupboard with your microphone talking to it on a Saturday from Istanbul while sharing pictures of cats. That is the way you succeed on YouTube. Obviously, I'm joking here. This video won't go viral. But the thing about the marketplace that really shocked me is there's a lot of stuff that you can do that will make a worse map, that will make it able to be submittable. And there's lots of things you could do that would make a better map that would make it unsubmittable. And therefore, as a result, like, you can see why certain maps in the marketplace took a lot of time but aren't very good. There are certain style guidelines, quality guidelines or whatever. Like, again, I can't talk specifics, but let's just say there was something I could remove from my map. I could make my map worse and I could submit it and get it out there literally next week, but I would rather not do that. If I remove that thing, I feel like I'd be making my product much worse. So instead, I have to spend a few more weeks working, like, again, realistically, like a week or so, but I have to do it in a couple of weeks. I have to spend some serious amount of time now going through and replacing the things that I could just remove and get away with, and instead putting something else better in its place. And so, as a result of, like that, I've kind of realized, like, yeah, I can see why if this was their main business, a marketplace studio might be like, oh, you just want us to remove this giant section? Sure, if that lets it get out there. But when you remove a key part of what you think is your map, you lose some of the value, and I think that's bad for the consumer and for the marketplace team. But I guess I'm just happy that there is any enforced standards in the marketplace, and if my map has to be delayed as a result, I'm willing to delay making a bad product versus I'm willing to delay and make a good product versus put a bad product out right now. But that's just my take on things. I don't know. I think about these things a lot, and maybe more than anyone else's right now. By the way, do you wonder what I'm doing in the background? I'm making a nice little waterfall in my Let's Play world. Do you like it? This was pre-recorded, so whenever you see the marketplace world of the Let's Play, boom, it'll be in there. Wow, plug. But no, more seriously, let's talk about the next question, which comes in from Chaotic Zombies. And by the way, speaking of houses, look how there's a cat just on this random person's table. Wow, is that the only cat in the picture? Maybe it's not. But they ask, when you built your Minecraft house, did you model it from the common British townhouse, tall and long, or did the inspiration come from elsewhere? And honestly, I would love to be like, yes, it was a British townhouse. It was the Victorian style that really, resonated with me. But what it actually was, the real thing that I was deciding to go for with my ugly, you might call it, house. Many people do call it that. What I was actually going for with the house is I like the fact that it's like an icon of a house. What do you picture when you picture a house? It's like, oh yeah, brick with like 4 windows. Like, how does a child draw a house? It's like a square with a triangle on top with loads of like little squares on the inside to represent the door, the windows, etc. And it's like, that looks nothing like a house in real life. Again, the door in the middle, all these other things. But because it's the icon of a house, everyone recognizes it as being a house, despite the fact that it doesn't look like one. I love that as a concept. I love the thing that we can look at parts of the world and see, like when you see a cross or a church spire, you know that it's a church, despite the fact that it looks nothing like one. There's so many of these things where, like, we know how to represent a concept of people, like clouds or flowers or anything like that, without having to actually accurately draw it. We can just draw the symbol that society recognizes as that thing. And it's a little bit mind-blowing, but it's a thing you can do even in Minecraft if you want to. It just kind of looks ugly sometimes, you could say. Anyway, let's move into the next question, which comes in from Jack, or Toycat is yes. I'm concerned by your profile picture here, Jack, but what I'm not concerned by is, wow, there's a cute cat in the bottom of this. Oh, isn't that just the most adorable thing? So the question here is, what motivates you to get up and travel? Because right now I'm in Istanbul. Can you tell from the cat photo? So what motivates you to get up and travel? Obviously, right now it's very, very different regarding, like, should you be traveling or not? Yeah, we can dive into that another time. But like, as far as like what motivates me is, no, I don't need like a huge amount of motivation. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'd really like to travel the world one day, sort of, but not really. And it's like, I feel like one of the big pressures is like, yeah, you have to do it. It's the thing you got to do. Personally, I think you don't need to travel. I think it's something, if you want to do, if you want to see new cultures, new foods, new experiences, new places, that's a great thing you can do via travel. But if you don't like the act of traveling, if you don't want to be in other places, as apparently the vast majority of the human population does not. I don't think you should feel pressured into doing so. So the question is, like, again, if you're not motivated to do something, then you don't need to do the thing. But what motivates you to do the things that you know you want to do? Let's say like travel, but let's apply this to everything in your life. And honestly, it can be really hard. Like, most of the time, it's just like, hey, I will tell my body to do the things, even though I don't want to do the things sometimes, because the end result is largely positive. But that's like a very simplistic answer of like, you need to get good at disciplining yourself, at telling your body that, yeah, you won't like this in the short term, but in the long term it's real good. And that's how you get long-term motivation, in my opinion. So what motivates you to do anything? Motivation is a terrible tool. Motivation is the way you get over the finish line. It's how you can do incredible things short term, but long term you need discipline. You need your body to do something instinctively. This is why going to the gym every day is more effective than going to the gym and working out so hard once, or going for the longest run once, because you get short bouts of motivation, but discipline lasts forever. I go over this rant like once a month or so, though. So to avoid that, let's go on to the next question, which comes in from We Raggin. And by the way, speaking of raggin, look at these cats. Aren't they adorable? How many do you count in the picture? Try to count this one right here. There was actually like 7 just off this picture. It's adorable. They just crowd around markets and like people go in and buy food to give the cats. I love it. It's adorable. But Regan says, what is your deepest desire? Honestly, my deepest desire is good Q&A Saturday questions. It's a desire that's not fulfilled very often. And what is/are the biggest goals that we should try to achieve as a society, in your opinion? And this is like a really, really big question, and everyone has their own kind of takes on this. But I think the thing we need to think above all else, like some people are so focused on beyond anything else, like, yeah, we need to maximize, the human good. And I really think those are really good secondary objectives. But the thing is like human good and human needs are always evolving and growing. Like, again, it's hard to say that like, oh yeah, if society is so much better off now than 100 years ago, why don't we feel better? And the answer is because we are a species that wants more, and that's great, we can use that, but we should be using that to ensure our survival in the case of a almost guaranteed over a long enough time period, planet-destroying event. At some point, Earth will be destroyed by something. We need to be thinking about how to get off here, and we need to do that as soon as possible. Right now, we are limited to one planet. That planet goes, we are dead. We are killing the planet, by the way, as part of our little reign. If we are going to kill the planet, which we seem to be heading towards, if we're going to have all these unfair outcomes, etc., which we seem to be treating as normal human behavior, then it's really essential that we get off this planet and make a multi-planetary species. As wacky and weird as that might be, I think it's important to, at the very least, have another planet in our solar system, and ideally have another couple of solar systems. Then we can start wondering about, gay space communism or whatever else. That's my opinion, at least. Maybe you disagree, but I think we need to get into the into the space world. There's so much out there that is unexplored. The resources alone from just even capturing our star would change the world so much, and people bicker over the tiniest things here when that should be priority 1, if not 2, for the species. If it's not in your top 3, then you're living wrong as a human. But speaking of things that you do wrong as a human, wow, here's a cat doing something wrong and sitting in a box. What do you want to see in the next big Minecraft update? Cave update. Cave update. An update to Minecraft's caves. But more seriously, because, we see the next question here, which is, but what is wrong with cave generation other than its age? And wow, I'm glad you asked, Big Clarky. The thing is Minecraft caves, obviously they're super old, they've been around for 9 years. That's fine, we can make jokes about that all day, but it is a problem because the caves were designed with the game state in mind of 9 years ago, and things have changed so much, as I discussed in yesterday's Redstone Repeater. Things have changed so much, and the direction of Minecraft has changed so much, and I think making the underground match that is important. Let me just, to quickly describe things. The fact is that we only have like 4 or 5 types of caves, and have only really ever had that. The fact is there's only like 3 types of stone, there's only like 4 or 5 major types of ore, and all of them are better found elsewhere. I mean, everyone has an iron farm, right? Besides me. Everyone has an iron farm, so what's the point of going down for iron? There's not really one except in the short term. Everyone really has a gold farm. What's the point of gold? Not really in the short term. Diamonds are no longer the best tool in Minecraft, and can be better obtained, at least in most of their forms besides jukeboxes and diamond blocks, from trading with villagers alongside all the other things I mentioned in my 12 best ways to find diamonds. So those are things we can write off, and in reality it just means like, oh yeah, you go down for redstone a little bit sort of sometimes, and then some lapis when you need that. And I think we need more things like redstone and lapis, like niche game cases that you can find in caves. And I also think we need to have more structures down there, because the above ground has, like 60 something biomes is the official count, right? But the below ground has one biome, cave. We need to fix that, and we need to have reasons to go down there. But that's my personal opinion, Mr. Big Clarky. Wow, I'm glad I didn't get into a cave update rant. That would have been a whole big problem, right? Anyway, let's move into the final question, which comes in from Jordan Pando, who says, I'd like to hear your point of view on this, Toy Cat. Natural disasters, should they happen? I think so. Survival should be more threatening and devastating. A common rebuke is, I don't want my builds to be destroyed, and I respond, play creative or toggle it off. But even then, I would say the events capable of taking down a big building should be rare in the first place, and the damage should be mitigated to a point. Lesser ones like floods could just pull crops and craft it, other smaller, less sturdy blocks into the water and flood the area for a bit. Once again, you could avoid a lot of the damage by building on stilts. I wouldn't limit creativity and what you can build and where. Technically, it would be there, but will always be a workaround like in real life. Creativity thrives in restrictions and challenge. Anyway, that's it. So here's the thing that to me has always struck me as the biggest argument against natural events, because I think it would be a fun mod. I think it might be a fun game mode. Like, I think hardcore having those things could be a definitely a little fun addition. But the reason you don't want it for other non-hardcore, non-mod game modes is because of the fact that if it is going to be semi-rare, most players won't prepare for it. And then if you think about like your current house being destroyed slightly, is it fun to go get more bricks to replace your house? Is it fun to gather the resources and just patch up what was destroyed by the game itself? I don't think it's fun, and I don't think it's something that would be that great to prepare for. It's kind of like, like I think Minecraft having more realistic mechanics could allow people to do more fun things in the abstract, but it would in reality just remove a lot of convenience and a lot of fun that people have with the current game right now. And that's why so many features like this cannot realistically come. You cannot realistically say, yeah, every now and then we're just going to knock down your house. Or even just very lightly like, oh, sometimes your crops will fail, because that doesn't feel, one of the things about Minecraft is, even though it mostly is kind of like the real world, it removes some of the random elements of the real world. It's very much a world within your control. That's one of the things that people like about sandboxes. That's one of the reasons Minecraft has succeeded. And I think having lots of random events like that, even the Wandering Trader feels too random for my liking. The more random events you have, the less organic and controllable a game feels. But that is my personal opinion. That has been Q&A Saturday, by the way. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I've been having a lot of fun here in Istanbul, and I'm going to take some more cat pictures, and I'm going to share them over on my Twitter at IBXToyCat. In case you're curious about where the new animations on this video came from, because my good friend Postbox Pat has made a brand new company. You can see their Twitter on screen right now. Give it a follow if you want to help them out, because again, it's a brand new kind of digital agency, Be Visual, designed for like helping YouTubers with their animations and stuff. If you're a YouTuber and want to check out their services, sure. If you want to just follow them to, boost their follower number, let's be honest, at some point, that's one of the things people like on social media, like, wow, look at the big number that says how many people follow me. And you can do that by just buying followers, or you can do that by having people like me say nice things. And again, this is just a favor for a friend. Postbox Pat is a great guy, and I just wanted to help out his little company. And if you want to help him out too, you can. If not, now you know where the new subscribe and member button came from. Let me know what you think of them, by the way. I feel like they're a very generic YouTuber, but maybe they increase the subscribe rate. And if they don't, I hope you'll enjoy this video. And if you want to see the other side of YouTube over the next week and a half, because I'm going to be in Las Vegas, I'm going to be in Istanbul, and then hopefully going to America. There's a whole maybe about that we're going to have to work our way through. But if you want to see the adventures, you can see the other half of YouTube over on twitter.com/IBXToyCat. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I always enjoy getting back to the Q&As after a long while, and maybe we'll do another one next week if you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for Seed Sunday, I think. It's a good Seed Sunday, I think. It's a great one. Okay, goodbye.